Hey, what's up guys? It's Steven here from Powell's Power Ups. I have another lightsaber up for sale. This will be the overview video for this Crystal Focus X Heart of Siberia lightsaber. You can find everything in the description down below as far as what's included and a complete price breakdown. So if you're interested, keep watching and we'll go over this whole thing, sit down, get comfortable, or if you just want to see some of my work, this is one of my overview videos. All clients get these, and anybody who buys a saber from me gets these. And I kind of go over everything about the saber, everything that was done to it, do a little demonstration, talk about what to do and what not to do with it, how to properly take care of it, and things of that nature. So let's get into it. In your little Ziploc baggie here, you have an Allen wrench. This is used for the blade retention screw, which holds in the blade plug also, so you'll get that. And then I got this from KR Sabers, or the Saber Armory, and it came with a coin. So the coin is also included with the lightsaber. So I've done one of these before, and I really liked it. I wanted to keep it for myself. So I've done this is the second one that I was gonna keep for myself, and I'm selling it. But anyway, I'll probably do another one later, but let's go over what all I've done with this one. So first off, I got a really cool and nifty blade plug for this one. I think I got it somewhere off eBay. I can't remember the name of the store, but it's pretty cool. But it's got some brass inside of there. Brass is one of the themes that I've kept in this saber that you'll see as we go over the overview. There's brass in several places. The blade plug, the crystal chamber, the chassis, and even the cover tech wheel. So we got some brass in there. Good looking blade plug, I think, with this lightsaber. Looks really cool. There is a stainless steel emitter here. A lot of people heat stain these with like a torch of some kind and give it that blue and orange, like, you know, hue that stainless steel can get whenever you heat it up. I actually just left this alone because I actually like it shiny and kind of pretty, and it kind of matches the gives it some more shine to match this center piece here, this kind of choke piece. I know it's not an exact match. This is aluminum and this is steel, but it's just some silver. Anyway, I added another theme along with the brass that I've added to this is this black wire mesh stuff. So I have it here, and then it's also featured in the crystal chamber, which we'll look at here in a second, and it's also featured in the chassis. So that is another theme that's pretty consistent throughout the saber. So there are some slits, some vents in here that allow this blade section to light up. Whenever we put a battery in later, you'll see these lighting up through these slots right here through the mesh. Let's take a look at the crystal chamber. We'll go to that next. So like I said, I put some wire mesh in there. I've also weathered the brass that is in the crystal chamber. So these fins here are not just the shiny gold colored brass, they're actually weathered with some brass black. I put the blue wires in there just to kind of go along with the same theme that this is a Kylo Ren saber. It's a Jedi killer, so his crossguard in the Gash has blue wires. This has a Gash, so I added blue wires. It also has that iconic screen accurate red wire that we see in the crossguard, but I got the blue wires in there too. So this, and I also took a little Dremel and just kind of sanded down the edges here just to kind of show that, you know, this has been cut open, a very clean cut. I feel like maybe a lightsaber slash kind of cut it open. So I wanted to keep it very clean looking. Hilt, by the way, is kind of the theme I wanted to go here, except for the brass I did weather, just to change kind of the tone or the color of it. So the cool thing about this crystal chamber, if you're not familiar with this Heart of Siberia lightsaber, there's a little window here that you can open. You can kind of use this little screw right here, or you can just use your thumb and you can kind of open this window to unveil the crystal chamber, which actually closes to cover the gash in the back whenever you do that. So here's the crystal chamber. We got a clear resin printed crystal inside of there with a 9-pixel LED underneath of it to illuminate that. As you can see, the fins here are weathered, and then I've added some little probe looking things that kind of go in there towards the crystal chamber. Those are brass and weathered as well. So beautiful crystal chamber there that you can kind of hide away, or you can reveal it and keep it open if you want, but it's kind of nifty to keep it closed and surprise people. Oh, look, it has a crystal chamber too. Here we have some, so this originally comes with some silver dome tactile switches. I actually have some, maybe I'll pull them out here and show you what they look like. Yeah. So see this little silver dome tactile switch here. It originally comes with some like these. It's just clicky, you know, doesn't do anything special, it's just clicky. So it came with those, but on some of the other Jedi killers out there from other manufacturers, there's LEDs that light up their buttons, and I kind of wanted to do that on this one. So I have some ShtokPixel buttons underneath these resin printed clear buttons, so you can hear them clicking. That's your power right here. This is your auxiliary. So there's some tactile switches under there. So those are illuminated. I have them set up to be blue colored, but they can be, you know, changed in the configuration to do whatever color you want or whatever effect you want. I mean, they can flicker, they can mirror the blade, they can pulse, they can be different colors if you want. They're wired individually. So that's this. So those are configurable as well. Real quick, I forgot to mention in the emitter, I'm going to open this up. So this is where you loosen your blade retention screw. This is the blade plug, which is a shine through blade plug. So this does light up, and what illuminates it is a Shtok, see if I can get that in the light. It's a ShtokCustomWorx NPXL version 3, also wired individually to have its own effect on those LEDs. It's a blade connector there. So I got the clear cover on there as well, just to add to the clean look here. Pretty deep blade socket, so it holds a blade really well. Also, this lightsaber has been wired with its battery positive and negative, and the blade connector positive and negative, all with 20 gauge wire, so that it is compatible with the new quantum blades that are out. Traditionally, just real quick, traditionally lightsaber blades have 2 strips back to back, but these new quantum blades have like 4 strips in there. So this lightsaber will eliminate those. So moving further along, the CoverTech wheel I mentioned is a brass. I sanded it down really good and then used brass black on it, and then kind of hit it with some steel wool to soften it up. But the theme there is trying to match, you know, the crystal chamber up here. And the chassis has a bunch of brass in it too, but we'll get there in a second. And then we got some beautiful red anodized accent pieces that came with the saber. These were round on the end, which I think were supposed to go the other way, and that little string, that little stick piece went down, but I didn't like that. I didn't like the look, so I cut these. I cut all these and then nicked the top as well, so that they would all sit up there like that. So that's a unique and different look for this one. Also, we have a beautiful red anodized pummel. So this, you don't mess with none of this. It can unscrew and come out if you want, but it doesn't need to. There's no purpose to. I guess you could to show the speaker off if you wanted, maybe to make it louder. I've never actually unscrewed it with the chassis in there. It actually might not work with the chassis in there. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. Don't do that. Anyway, let's look at the chassis. So the wire, the red wire, is slit right here in the middle. Just gonna pull this down and out like that. And then you can hold this silver piece and unscrew the handle. It's a really short threading. It doesn't take many rotations and it comes off. And then this is the chassis that I have for this hilt. So this is just an empty shell. You can just set it aside. So again, I wanted to continue the brass theme with the black saber. So I have a black chassis, just painted, you know, regular black. And then I got all these brass tabs that I got made and I cut and put in here, which was very meticulous and painstakingly took me quite a while to glue them all in. But this is just to kind of add, and then there's some big ones here around the speaker. There's also pixel strips. You have 20 pixel strip bar and on each side. These are from the Saber Merchant. And then there's a 2020 pixel strip wrapped around just above the speaker. Here's our battery compartment. So positive goes up there towards the button. Spring side is negative. It holds a 18650 lithium ion battery. This one right here, 3120 milliamp hour. Keep power. We'll put that in a minute. We got a Crystal Focus X. Okay, this is the version 2. So this one actually has the magnetic sensor in it if you want to get you a ring and program it to work with your ring. That's a feature with CFX that you can do with this one in particular. I also have the onboard 0603 size LEDs on here. There's red ones in the middle and white ones on the end. You'll see those do their own little dance. Accent lighting dancing will happen when I put a battery in. And then also there's this little piece here you can see if we want to access the SD card or the micro USB port, you can just lift this up and out. So this gives us access to the CFX so we can get that. We can just lift up and get that SD card out if we want, and when we're done, we just push it back down inside. This has a magnet in it, which will hold it in place, make sure it doesn't come out. Whenever you put it back, you just kind of get it in the sweet spot. Don't force it, just wiggle it, and it'll sit down in place perfectly. So also underneath there, you notice we have a Bluetooth chip. So this lightsaber also has Bluetooth. This is the FSC BT982 model. So this allows us to connect with various apps on our phones, Apple or Android, and you can control the whole saber with your phone if you wanted to. You can do other things on there as well too, but I'll let the purchaser explore into that. So yeah, we get that back in there. So yeah, it also has the configuration is already done. It has all 32 of my custom blade effects, 32 custom colors, and I've put on here Kyber Phonics new unstable version 3 sound font, and also one of my old-time favorites, K-Sys Crossguard with a K is on here as well. So there's like 5 Kylo Ren sound fonts on here that all have been tweaked and adjusted and tailored by me so that it's all beautiful sounding. Even the menu sounds are Kylo Ren speaking, so those sounds are custom as well. On the end here we have a dark side 28 millimeter 3 watt 4 ohm speaker. So this is loud and has some rich quality sound to it, and it sounds great. Yeah, let's see, what else I gotta talk about? Yeah, I think that's it. Let's put on a battery and I'll show you what some of this can do. So whenever you put the battery in, and even when you have the handle off, make sure you're always handling the saber by the metal part up here. And I'm not holding the whole saber by the chassis with all this heavy metal weighing down on it. So this chassis is glued with E6000 up inside of this. But it's pretty strong stuff, so as long as you're not holding it and swinging it around by the chassis like you shouldn't be anyway, then you'll be fine if you just treat it delicately. So notice these lithium ion batteries have like that, see that little square line there? That's a little strip that sticks up. I like to keep that facing up when I put the battery in. So I'm gonna go spring side against the negative side of the battery. So look at your label, make sure you're on the negative side. You just hold it like so. I'm gonna push down against that spring, compressing it before I push the positive end in. So there we got a boot sound indicating that the saber now has power, and you also see all of the LEDs coming on. So here we have the strip above the speaker. Wrapped around there, we got each sidebar, 20 pixels in each of those. Okay, they just pulse right now whenever the blade is off. Here's our 06, 03 LEDs going back and forth. Here's our illuminated pixel buttons. Here's our crystal chamber pulsing. You can see the wire mesh back there behind it. Gives it a cool look. Here's those slits I was talking about towards the beginning of the video behind the wire mesh. Okay, and then here's our blade plug illuminated. Super cool looking, right? So cool thing about this handle, when you put it on, this ring part right here still shines through whenever the saber is put back together, which we just thread on the handle like that. Then we're just going to take the red wire and just going to tuck it back inside this little clip right here. I'm trying to do it by looking at the camera. There we go. So that stays like that, and this is what it looks like. Okay. Here we can see the wire mesh illuminating from the crystal inside on the Gash section. Really cool looking. See the blue coming through the backside here. We'll go ahead and kick it on. Here we go. So there's a demonstration of some smooth swing sounds, the hum. You have regular swings, and then you have slash swings. You have some blaster deflection, some clashes. We got some quotes there. We had lockup. We even had the power off and power on, which is activated either by the buttons, or you can do a twist on and a twist off. So there's other sound fonts on here too. We'll go to one.
Sound bank selection, Kylo Ren.
See there, we can hear Kylo Ren's voice, and then the menu for changing sound fonts is Kylo Ren's theme music.
Mighty Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren. Sound bank selection, Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren. The mighty Kylo Supreme Leader. The mighty Kylo Ren.
All right, so for this demonstration, before I do this font, we're gonna put in a blade. So I'll show that it works with a blade. So I just happen to have the KR Sabers version 3 pixel stick, which is one of those quantum blades that I was talking about, which I haven't actually glued together completely yet. So maybe I can show you what it looks like. Maybe not. This is my personal blade. Come on now. There we go. So this is the quantum blade I was talking about. So we have the normal big pixels there that go on both sides of the strip, but then you also have those little ones on the side. So this has like almost 500 LEDs. So to put the blade in, we're not gonna do any twisting, no twisting, because we don't wanna bend those pins. We just wanna push against them. They're spring loaded. So I'm just gonna line it all up, push it straight in. While I'm holding it there against my body, I'm gonna use that wrench and tighten down that screw. Whoops, just dropped that. And then I'm gonna change the camera real quick to the wide angle. Okay, there we go, wide angle. This quantum blade, super bright. This is my favorite one, is Unstable version 3, The Force Unleashed. So if whoever gets this saber, the buttons are kind of placed towards the middle of the hilt. So sometimes they can get in the way if you grab the saber where you normally would. Instead, this saber works really well if you just choke up a bit, really close to that stainless steel ring. Now, I know if this was a real lightsaber, I'd probably burn my finger off, but it's not. It's just a toy, so or a collector's item. So you don't have to do that. So when you choke up, you'll notice I don't hit the buttons whenever I'm doing that. When I want to use the buttons, I put on the second hand. And I can do all of the functions that I want. It changes colors too. I'll go through some of the colors and the blade profiles we were talking about. So here is red, orange, like an orange. Let's see, red, orange, yellow, orange, going into the yellows now. And then we go into the greens. And then we go into the cyan and the aqua colors and then the light blues. And then we go into the medium blues and then straight blue. And then some berry colors with a little bit of purple mixed in. Then we go into the purples and the pinks. Now all of those have white effects, which I'll explain later. Whenever you see the different blade styles later, the effects will have like white sparks and things like that. All of those, the rainbow you just saw has white effects. And then I have 3 specific blades that are red, green, and blue right here, red, green, and blue, that have dark effects that work really well with like waves and things like that. So I'll show you that later. And then I have some white blades or silver blades in different brightnesses. So here's a max bright right there. All white, max bright, 100%. And then I have a black blade, which only shows effects. Now this particular blade style I'm on now doesn't have any lighted effects, but other ones do. And then back around to red. Now I'll go into the blade profiles. We'll go all the way back to regular flickering. So there's just like standard flickering blades, more intense flickering. Then we have some unstables, various kinds of unstables. I don't even know if they're probably not even going to show up on camera. Different kinds of plasmas and more unstables and energies and sparks and just all kinds of ones that I've designed. This is my custom pack. There's like a forward energy one. Here's some with some sparks. Here's a wave blade. So like this is one of the wave blades. If you go back to the colors, if you go to one of those colors, yeah, that have the black effects, then you get a better wave effect. Some more unstables. Lots of unstables since it's Kylo's saber. There's some other ones too, though, that are just like, here's a reverse wave. Here's like a second sister. Here's a flame. Here's like a fire blade. Here's like a Death Star beam. An even faster version. Strobe stuff. Rainbow. So all kinds of blades that you can use to showcase things. Here's a Sauron split blade. Here's one with sparks and stuff in it, like just a wild movie flicker one. There's all kinds. And then back around to the Legacy blade, which is just totally nothing. So I'll go back around to the unstable, the Kylo one, which is this one. So there it is. If you are interested in purchasing, or if you have any questions, just reach out. I can answer all your questions. But yeah, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.